Hello beautiful internet people, it's another beautiful Tutorial Tuesday. My name is Justin Taylor, head coach at Firestorm. We're here at the Firestorm Freerunning and Acrobatics Gymnasium, and today we are going to learn the simple vault. Let's get started, shall we? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. All right, beautiful people, it is time to learn our simple vault. Now a simple vault is simple, but that doesn't always mean it's easy. Some skills, depending on your body type, your flexibility, your strength, all these beautiful things can make it easier or more difficult despite its name, the simple vault. Now this is a great lead into our Kongs and also our safety, also known as step-up vaults. Now when we do this, we don't always have to start by vaulting over something. You know, it's a great way to do it. But for some people that can be very difficult, learning to lock your arms out, hold yourself up on an object, support your weight, all that stuff. So remember, when you learn these, you can learn them up and down an object. I like to use things about hip height. Is generally what you find outside. About 3 feet tall is where a lot of planters and handicap rails and things are. But remember, you can always start on something much, much smaller. There's no reason you need to start on something as big as what I do or as small as what I do. Make your own choices, find out what works for your body type and style. Now when I start with the simple vault, I like to practice simple ups and simple downs. It just means instead of jumping over the object, I'm going on top of the object, or from the top of the object back down to the ground. So whenever I start with a simple vault, a couple important things: hand placement. A simple vault starts with 2 hands. That was a tough one, right? First step. It's okay, we got you. Now, it's important to notice I don't want really wide hands. What's gonna happen is one of my arms is gonna be in the way of my legs and gonna have to move. If my arms are wide, they are pushing to the side. When I take this arm out, I'm gonna fall on my face. If I keep both arms shoulder width apart and my chest up, even when I take an arm away, I've got a nice support to help balance my weight. It's kind of like if I have my legs like this and I take a leg away, I'm gonna fall on the ground. If my legs are like this and I take a leg away, I got a little bit of time that I can balance on that one limb. So we're gonna start with these nice shoulder width wide hands, and what we're gonna do is we are going to jump both feet up on one side or the other of my body. Now, why don't you guys come on over here and get a nice straight shot so you can kind of see what's going on as we jump up onto this object. Important thing while you guys are looking at my hands right here, notice I have flat hands. This is a thing that you're gonna hear from me over and over again. If you walk into a gymnastics gym, you're gonna hear the gymnastics coaches yelling, straighten your legs, point your toes, finish your set, shoulders to your ears. If you walk into a parkour gym, you're gonna hear a lot of no knees. Remember, no words that I can't say, knees, all right? Cartilage is cool, we like keeping it. With our hands, we want flat hands. Why? Because the first time you do a big vault on a solid object like this, you will break all of your knuckles. You will have a bad day. These are called your interphalangeal carpal joint thingies, I think. Anyways, the important thing is we like our knuckles, we want to keep them, so keep nice flat hands to distribute your weight evenly. We don't want to be on these fingertips where the joints are going to take the brunt of the impact of your body weight when you start vaulting. All right? Shoulder width apart, nice flat hands, and from there we're going to begin our jumps. Getting ready to start our simple up, not yet our simple vault over. We've got our nice flat hands, again protecting our joints and our fingers, beautiful things to have. And when I do this, I've got my shoulder width wide hands. Now when I go, I'm not gonna jump my feet really far off to one side or the other. What I'm basically gonna try to do is, if you look at my right hand right here, probably looks like left for you guys. When I jump up though, I want both feet landing on either side of where that hand just was, or basically in that hand's position, which means that hand is gonna have to move. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lock out my arms. So I'm bone stacking, what's called kinematics. All right, very important that my one bone is stacking on top of the other bone, so my bones are locking the weight. If I do this, my muscles are taking the weight. It's much harder on my body. Start by using your bones, make your life easy. I've got my hands here. As I jump, I'm going to tuck my knees to my chest and place my feet where my hand is. There we go. I have to move my hand out of the way. Why? I would have landed on my fingers. If my hand was here, it would have stopped my body. I would have landed very strangely. Now when I do move a hand out of the way, I want to think almost like I'm a boxer. I want to keep that hand in close right here. If my hand is out here, look what just happened to my body shape and position. I've got an arch in my upper back. I've got a curve in my spine. This is a very weak, loose position. None of my core muscles are engaged. My back muscles aren't engaged. Everything's kind of weird. And as I jump over, it's just going to fall apart. So I want to keep it in here. You can see how I'm facing towards you now. All right, and then I can take my hand off and I'm good. I'm up on top of my object and I've done my simple up. The last thing I want to talk about when we do our simple vault, whether it's vaulting over, up, down, any of those things, since we just did our simple up, is you gotta pop that booty. I want you, and you're gonna hear this all the time, whether it's flips, handstands, dive rolls, anything, a lot of things, you need to get your hips high in the air. So I'm gonna want you to pop that booty. You gotta pop that booty up in the air. So when I come here, I'm gonna leave my butt at the exact same height as I try to do the simple up. I'm gonna tuck my knees to my chest and move my hands, everything else we just talked about. And we're gonna see if the simple up works without popping the booty. Here we go, ready? This is gonna be fun. The answer is no. Now watch the height of my butt right here versus when I go. My butt comes up and then my legs begin to tuck. When my butt goes up, that opens up a lot more space right here for my knees to come through. If my butt is right here, there's no room in this area between my arms and my chest and my legs and my butt for my knees to come in. So I've got to pop that booty up in the air. So now we've got up on top of our object, it's time to work on our simple down. Remember, when you work on these different skills, you need to be ambidextrous. That means you're working both sides of your body. The last thing you want is a really strong right side and a weak left side, or a really tight or flexible one side of your body. All right, this will pull you out of whack. This allows you to pull muscles earlier, hurt yourself. I've had lots of injuries over the last 26 years I've been training. I've learned a lot. Learn from my mistakes so you don't repeat them. Now, I've got my nice flat hands. I personally, when I go down an object, like to grip a little over the edge so I can kind of throw it behind me. Gives you a little more power and speed on your exit. It's up to you guys, you're just starting, so you can start with nice flat hands. Now as I go right here, remember, same thing, I'm gonna pick a side. I'm gonna do my opposite side this time, so that way you guys can see what the other side looks like. I come here, I'm going to jump both feet. Now, because I'm a little higher and lean forward, I'm not going up an object, I don't need to pop my booty as high in the air, so I can leave it a little lower this time. Don't need as much power. I'm gonna start my jump, I'm gonna lean to this side, putting all my weight on this stacked, kinematically stacked bone arm. All right, and I'm gonna move this hand out of the way, keeping it like a boxer. Tuck both knees around, and I'm gonna try to drop them directly in front of me. I go here, and I'm down, and now I'm poised to run out. Now that we've worked on our simple up and our simple down, it's time to put the entire thing together. Now, before you actually go into your simple vault, we've talked about hand placement as in width. Now we gotta talk about it as in depth or length. If I place my hands right here on the start of this object, I want you to watch how close. I'm not gonna let it happen, but I want you to watch how close my butt comes to clipping this edge as I come down. Okay, simple vault. I had to really arch and push myself to get over to not clip my butt. If I come down on my tailbone right here on this lip, I am gonna have a bad day. I'm very unhappy I won't be able to sit for a couple days because I will have a bruised tailbone. Any of you guys that have bruised the tailbone know it ain't fun. You'll also notice that in order to save myself, I have to be in this weird arch position. Now I'm not able to land strong, I don't have any engagement of my core, I'm not ready to run out, I'm leaned back. The whole thing has fallen apart, all because of the area I chose to place my hands, not because of my actual vault itself. So, whenever we're vaulting over an object, we want to make sure our hands are parallel along a line, and we want to make sure that we are at least halfway across the depth of the object. So for me, I can place my hands in the middle. Depending on how tall or long the object is, I can reach my hands further to the end. The further I am to the end, the more control and stabilization I will have with my body when I land. Also allows me more power when I push out. If my hands are here, you guys just saw what happens. So let's see what happens when I move my hands here to the middle. Again, shoulder width apart, chest up, core engaged. I'm gonna be looking forward, as much as I like looking at you guys. I gotta look this way, okay? I'm gonna jump, and you can see from this position, core engaged, and I'm ready to actually push forward and explode out into whatever the next part of my run is. Now, when we do this, one other important thing, and you're gonna hear this during our safety vaults, our Kong vaults, everything. If you want to explode with speed out of your vault, as my body gets in front of my arm, I don't want to be leaning back on that because now that is weight transfer going in the opposite direction I just came from. What I want to do is, as my body passes this arm, I want to grab, I'm going to switch to this side real quick. As my body weight's in front, I am going to, instead of leaning back on this arm, I'm going to grip with my hands. We're going to grip and rip, which means I'm going to grab this object and I am going to throw it behind me. We've all seen dogs when they start digging in the ground and they're just throwing that dirt behind. This is your dirt. You're all now dogs. You're gonna throw this thing behind you So I'm gonna come in with the exact same body position, same amount of power. The only difference is I want you to watch my landing, the speed and power with which I come out, just because I'm gonna throw this behind me. One arm, small transfer at the very end of weight, and we're gonna see the difference it creates. I'm coming here. In fact, I'm gonna switch sides this time so you guys can watch my arm. Hands are in front, I jump, throw it behind me, and now look, I'm a little bit further forward, and I'm poised to run out. So we always grab the object and throw it behind us as our weight transfers past that center vertical position of our hand and our body. Let's see what it looks like when we put it all together. All right, guys, the last thing we're gonna talk about, we've talked about, our core being tight, all these different things. Here's really important. When I'm looking at you guys, I want you to watch this simple vault as I come up and over, and I want you to watch how the entire time I'm facing and keeping my entire core pointed towards you. Okay? If there were a line coming out this way, my perpendicular center is pointed towards you the entire time. You can see the difference of what happens when I allow my chin to drift. It's very common when people move their arm, you can see my body position has changed, now I'm pointed this way. If I try to do a simple vault and I do that, I'm in a weird position. The most common one is to twist towards the arm that you are posting with. Posting means it's the arm that is staying down, the one I'm kinematic stacking on. So you'll see this in safety vaults, you'll see this in any type of vault that has only one arm posting. It is very common to leave that arm behind and start twisting towards it. Here's a good example of it. I come in, ready to do my simple vault. Here we go, baby. Oh yeah, I'm gonna run out of this, I'm gonna be super awesome. Whoa! And now I'm in this weird position. I'm not running towards you. Again, you can see my wrist is in a very awkward position. I want to push behind me, which pushes this shoulder forward, allowing me to keep that nice straight line. If you leave that hand posted behind you, you will twist your body towards that object. That's just the way your body is structured. So whenever we come over this, remember, as we pass over the hand on the posting arm, we need to throw the block behind us. We need to grip it and rip it. When that happens, here I am. Oh, look at that. Now I'm pointing forward again. That's where I want to be be able to engage into the next skill, be able to run out of it, any of those things. As soon as I do that, you're going to notice I pull that arm in as close as I can to my body, and I'm here. Why? Core engagement. Now I'm ready to reach forward, cat a wall, climb a bar, do a flip, whatever I want to do. But if my arm is over here, this is a really awkward position to try to go into another skill. We want that. Yeah, that's right, I said it again. Core engagement. We want to be forward, nice pointed straight line, so I can run out, I can do, woo, cartwheels, all kinds of fun things. All right? So remember, when we're coming out of this vault, the second part is just as important as the starting intro part. When I do this hand right here, if I'm trying to walk towards you and my hand stays here, you can see it is starting to twist and affect my body. I don't have a good forward-facing landing position. So again, as my body passes straight up and down with this arm, I'm going to throw it behind me. I'm going to grip it and I'm going to rip it. Notice when I do this, I'm stuck, I'm twisting, but as soon as I push, my body is now twisted back towards you guys. This is the position we want to land in, a nice solid position. The last thing you want to do is land in a really awkward position that not only gives you no structure and a setup for whatever your next skill is going to be, but also lands you in a compromised position where you can hurt your spine, your hip, your back. I've done all these things. Don't do them, they're not fun. Grab, push. Now here I am, ready to run out. This allows you to do any kind of skill you want out of it. From this position, I'm ready to swing up and grab something. I'm ready to do a cartwheel. I'm ready to do a flip. I'm ready to do whatever makes my heart happy. But if I'm in this weird position, it's gonna be very hard for me to swing through into a cat position or some kind of other thing that I wanna do. So always grip it, rip it, solid core, point towards where you wanna go, and then you can do all kinds of stupid stuff out of it because you've got a nice, solid starting position. All right. That is our simple vault. Bye. All right, that is it. That is the simple vault. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below. Why, you ask? So I can come on and answer them. Why, you ask again? No, but seriously guys, ask as many questions as you want. I will do my best to get back to you. I am a firm believer in the more questions you ask, the more information you can get. And the more information you have, the better decisions you can make, both in life and in training. So be sure to like, subscribe, comment, tag, poke people, I don't know, whatever it is you internet people do. I love all your faces. You have a beautiful day. I will see you next week for Tutorial Tuesday, where we'll be learning another beautiful vault, or maybe a waltz technique. I don't know. Depends on what kind of day it is, you know? Okay, bye-bye.